here I am, still in the yellow. Part 2. Part 2. Here we go. Part 2 of what sold through the end of April to towards the end of May. Alright. And the first part of that is somewhere down here or up here somewhere. Alright, here we go. First item. I got this Dell disk drive. It was in the death pile. $9.99. I tested it on my whatever. I tested it on an old PC. Fired up. It was some slot machine on there. It worked. So cheap. Got this Micronauts vehicle for the Micronauts haul. We paid $40 for the boxes, and we paid $50 for all the parts, and we probably got about 2,000, maybe 1,500 out of all this boxes and Micronaut and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that Micronaut stuff. Good money in that. This one was not complete, but I did build it. We have this Stanley ruler, this box ruler. Again, I do 1,000 a year, every year, just with rulers, at the flea market, at eBay. I mean, there's a lot of money in rulers. Don't overlook them. Got this GameCube controller for parts. The knob was a little worn off. I didn't want to sell it as a good controller, as most people would probably critique that and probably wear your thumb out pretty quick while using it. So just sold it as parts, you know, no returns, and yeah, good sale. This pair of Rollerskates, this was out of either the Hoarder House or these were from the thrift store for a couple dollars, like $4 or $5. But $39.99, good set of skates, good sale, no return, no complaints, perfect. We got this Dewalt impact drill. We bought this out of the tool haul for $1,100, and the one tote that this drill was in, he charged me 40 bucks for this one tote, and it had a Dewalt impact, it had a Dewalt scroll saw, it had 3 batteries, a charger, a power planer, a sander, a nailer. 40 bucks. So, yeah, impact drill, $89.99. That's just the old style. It's the 18 volt, and good sale. Look out for them impacts. You can almost buy them at the flea market for like 30 bucks or so. So keep that in mind. These Dewalt, everyone really likes these Dewalts, and they sell fast. Like that one sold within 2 days, and a scroll saw sold in like a week. So don't overlook that. Here is 2 large lenses from a machinist haul in 2018. This was where I got my butt handed to me when I went to go buy the stones, and I didn't end up buying the stones, and I bought all, like not all the cameras, but a good portion of all the cameras, and a lot of machinist tools. You live and learn. That was maybe not $100,000 worth of stones, but it was easily worth $50,000 probably worth of fossils and stones, crystals, and all kinds of stuff. I'll try and pop some pictures up of that sale right here, because I think I can backlog and check some of these pictures here, and it's very impressive. Here we go. Alright, got this Magnavox. Got this from a yard sale at Andre's house, which he lives 2 streets down from me, and he does a Boy Scout yard sale every year. And he'll fill his garage and I almost want to like go over there right now and be like, Andre, what's up? Unload that stuff. But he had two of these. One was in the box, one wasn't. A bunch of games. They had 3 trash barrels full of Matchbox cars, and the lady wanted 200 for all of them. I didn't have 200, and I really wish I did, because it was a really nice junkyard lot of, like, literally 3 big trash can full. I dumped them out and started going through them, and I found like 10 that I wanted to keep, but honestly, I just like got overwhelmed with it and threw them all back in there, and was like, if I'm not buying them all, I'm not buying any of them. I don't know why, but I did pick out a couple pretty good ones too. I don't know where my brain was that day, but I did get a lot of good stuff. But anyway, we get this bit sharpener, electric. This was kind of funny. This guy haggled me down to $10. I threw an offer out at him at 17. No, 15. I threw an offer at 15. No, I threw an offer at threw an offer at 17. He came back at me at 10. And I said 15, and he said that's far too high. And not even 2 minutes later, it sold for $19.99. So I was just like, did this guy buy it? I really don't want to sell it to this guy at $19.99, because he's the type of person that opened up a claim, you know? And it's a totally different guy. So that worked out perfect. I love it when that happens, and someone haggles you, and then it totally goes out in left field for them, and totally in right field for me. We get this record hand pouch for chisels. This is a nice pouch. Kind of hard to find these, but if you can find them, look for them. They're all leather usually. Stanley makes them. Starrett, Brown Shop, Sorby, anyone that makes a chisel, makes machining tools. They all sell different pouches and little tool insert things, and all that stuff sells. All right. We have a Game Boy Advanced, the Blue Cobalt. For some weird reason, this Blue Cobalt does really good. Every time I have the Blue Cobalt, I put 60 on it, and it sells every time. And I'm amazed that it sells for that price every time. We have this B&S indicator stand. No, it's not a stand. It's just an indicator. And it's missing some parts, but good sale, $39.99. I listed like 50 indicators. I have like a pile that I just keep stockpiling from every sale. I just keep putting them in a box. I was like, I'm just gonna list them all. Got this book lot from the Tool Buy, 1100 Tool Buy, and I didn't want to buy the books on the first round when I went to go meet up with this guy on Craigslist. So I bought them all in the second round, and I paid $100 for all of his books, and he had over 100 books. So buck a book, and I made a bunch of different lots of like 6 or 7 different instructional books. So this is one lot that sold $49.99. It was a pretty good sale. Next we have this bike frame. I got this out of the Hoarder House, 410 Hoarder House buy. This bike, once I stripped it and took everything apart, it did close to 500 out of this bike. So don't overlook your BMX bikes. They're worth some really good money. Very, very surprising. My brother-in-law kind of steered me onto the bikes, mainly just BMX, because he's done really good on like bike seats and posts and handlebars and grips and stuff like that. So all that stuff sells. Here's 2 more books out of that book lot $37.99. Those are two good, nice, clean books. Here's the Dewalt Jigsaw that I was telling you about originally, with the impact drill. You really got to look out for this Dewalt stuff. It's really good tools. Those batteries last a long time. This is I think a 24 volt with a conversion pack to use 18 volt. Originally the saw was an 18 volt, and it has a conversion that you can use the 24 into the 18, if that makes sense, if I said that right. So yeah, good sale. Next is this Archer kit. Honestly, I said I tested it, but I didn't. It just looked like it would work, and it had zero corrosion, so I just let it slide through. I got a good review on that, so perfect. Good feedback. Here's a Micronaut set from a repeat buyer. He's bought in 3 or 4 sets already. He's probably spent $500, this one buyer, and yeah, good buyer. Chris, great buyer. I guess if Chris sees this, thank you for buying that Micronaut stuff. I packed it extra good for you every time, knowing that you were gonna buy more again. Here's a good sale. These are rubber lathe collets for tools. You just set tools inside these collets. Not exactly super sure how to use these, but I believe you use bits to mount on your machine with these collets. And anything that says collet and that has to do with a machinist, buy it, all right? Because it's expensive to buy these collet. I'll try to put some other pictures of collets here, other than the rubber ones, but they're hard to find. They're hard to know what they are, but once you know what they are, you'll know what they are, and they're worth a lot of money. All right. Narnia, 3DS game, I think. $1. That was from Dane's house. Let's pick a slide rule. Ruler, again, rulers. Good money on them rulers. Picket is a great name for rulers. They do more like conversion rulers, where they would be for engineers. So a lot of engineers own these kind of rulers, and an engineer usually has some bread. All right. So the other keyboard, positive feedback there. Got this Bosch power planer from the Tool Lot that was in that $40 tote with all these other Dewalt drills. Bosch power planer. You gotta just check the bit. There's a bit inside the machine, and you can usually see it, and you just check if there's any chips on the blade. If there's chips on the blade, then your price needs to reflect that a little, but this one was really good shape, good blade, good tool, clean, good price. Threw that in a flat rate. That was from the 1100 purchase. We got these gauge sets. This was from the Machine Assault 2019. Tons of gauge sets sold out of there. Got this Atlas book that was from the same haul. I got 2 of these Atlas books. The other one hasn't sold yet, but it will. Most likely for close to the same price. So that's a machinist book, and don't let machinist books go by. People like to buy them, the old ones, new ones, any books that have to do with machinery, calibrating, machinery, setting up. Yeah, this Atlas book is more of a setup. for an Atlas lathe. There's another wall bracket. There's a Japanese razorback saw. It showed you that in tool haul. It was from the 480 tool buy. And I have another one of those right here, actually. Yeah, this one's Japanese. This one is a razorback too. It's broken right here. But this handle's still good. And, meh. I mean, it's maybe worth $5 at this point, but still $5. But that's what one would look like. Here's a wood planer lot, and we have a problem with this planer lot. I don't know. Somehow it got ran over. I don't know why I got like a lot of packages ran over, but USPS loves just running my stuff over or dropping it. The buyer said that he thought that the items jostled around in the box, which they didn't. I packed it well, and he said, I don't know, the box got damaged. They must have just jostled all around inside the box, and they wouldn't have did that if, I mean, let's see here, you know, like this is a box, all right, and this is the back of the UPS van, all right, this is a box, okay. Do you think the box would go next to another box, or do you think the box would just go in the center of the truck on the floor, so when the guy's driving it goes over here and then it goes over there on every turn, and he stops and it goes forward and it goes backwards? I mean, is that where this guy thought his box was, inside the truck? Because that's what he kind of told me where his box was. I don't know, the items must have jostled around in the box so bad that it destroyed the box. And I'm like going, that's near impossible, because they usually put all the boxes in like those trays, or they put them like in a stack. I don't know, so gotta handle that one. We got this Lego box. I listed it. Didn't want to throw it away. Still got a couple dollars out of it. Lego boxes sell. Don't pass them up empty. They want to build the set. You get this Smith & Wesson holster. Good holster. $20. We get this tape player. RQ J50. I kind of just made the whole thing. I think I put batteries with it and headphones and just set it all up, because it's like COVID going on. So I set it up where once it was shipped out, the buyer had the batteries, they had the headphones, they had everything they needed. All they needed was a tape. So I like to do that. It's good to have an excessive, it's good to have, I wanted to pull out my excessive thing of batteries here, but I'll just grab the camera. It's good to have an excessive amount of batteries. There's more somewhere. It's like another box full of batteries. But always grab your batteries when you're in the yard sales or estate sales. It's worth grabbing them. Speaking of batteries, here's a battery pack for a computer. This I did not test. It was never opened, so this will be a gray area whether or not that battery works, and whether I need to refund that buyer or not. And if I don't have to refund them and they don't contact me, then I'll know that the other one that I have will work. So, and I didn't list the other one, so I was kind of waiting for this one to sell to list the other one, and wait to see what the buyer would say on whether or not it worked or not. Yada yada yada. You catch my drift of how I went down that road. Here's a Porta-Cable router. $75 for that. Anytime that anything has 99 at the end, that means I set the price. And anything that has a 00 at the end, that means I took an offer. That's just kind of how I distinguish whether or not it was a sale or whether or not I sent out an offer. So that's a pretty good, easy way of knowing where I was at within the sale. But good sale on that router. That was from the 1100 tool buy, and we're kind of just creeping up into the profit. It's a Lost in Space model. This was with the paper lot that I bought, and some models and 2 video cameras. The 2 video cameras I sold, and that already paid for the lot, so this is profit. I did take an offer on that, and it was a good sale. I was more than happy with that sale for sure. Let's get into this one sale. These 4 tie downs. Alright. These 4 tie downs. Complete nightmare. Alright. Story time. Story time. Story time. Story time. Alright, here we go. Alright, here's the story. 4 T-hooks, okay? They're basically for a dock. So, one set sold, and then literally 2 minutes later, another set sold. So I'm like, oh, maybe this one guy bought all of them, you know? So I went on, and it was 2 separate people buying the same thing within 5 minutes of each other, all right? And I only got 2 sets of it. And the 2 sets come with 4 hooks, okay? So I sent them out at the same time, 2 different addresses. I could have sworn one that I was supposed to send only had 2 hooks. That's all I thought that was included. And then the other one was 4 hooks. So I sent one with the 4 hooks. And he, I don't know, had some major problems with these. I might have to go back and tell you this story. But basically, I sent the one with the 1, and it was supposed to have 2. So then the guy sent me a message and said, hey, I'm missing 2, you know? And I'm like, oh my God. I went back, looked at the pictures, and I actually had 2 in stock, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't send that. Now it's just going to cost me everything of what the sale was to get these out to this guy. So I'm going to make $4 on this. Hardly. So I'm like, all right. And these short sales, man, they'll bite you. All right? These $10 to $20 sales, they're going to bite you. Just so you know. It's not the $50 sales. It's not the $100 or $300 sales that people open up claims and returns for. It's these $10 and $20 sales. All right? So you got to be really, really careful with listing the 10 and the 20s. I'm just letting you know. And it's my fault. I didn't send the 2. So I say, yeah, I'm on it. I'm sending you 2. He says, okay. So 2 seconds later, he sends me neutral feedback. I'm like, I just told you I was going to send them to you. He contacted me on Sunday, and I'm going to send them out on Monday. I just contacted him back, and I go, we're all done here. I refunded him the money, and that's it. I didn't send him out. I refunded him the money because he already left me neutral feedback, so there's no other feedback that he can leave me, and I don't really want to send him the other one because I'm like wasting my time. So I just kind of made it a wash. And he did contact me saying, hey, are you going to send that other one? And I'm like, no, we're done here, buddy. I'm don't want nothing to do with you. You left me negative feedback, and well, basically negative. It was neutral, but, and then I got another neutral for something else. I don't know. We'll figure it out along the way, and I'll roll the camera and tell you about it again. But here's this Star at 289A. Oh, I have another one right here. I actually have 3 of them right here. So here's 3 89As. Right. So 3 89As. I bet you wouldn't think this is $75, right? Alright, so here's 89A, $28.99. So $28.99, $28.99, $28.99, and then what these are for are for this slide rule that was in part 1. And see how that kind of like clips on there? That clips on. This kind of adjusts onto the track, and you can go like that too. And you can go like this. Okay, and then there's another attachment that goes onto here to make it 90. But good little attachments. Good money on those, so never overlook your ruler parts. All right, that's why I like that stuff. And even these little bolts, just this bolt, sometimes it can go for like $5. Just that little nut. If you knew what that nut was for, because it was flat, it had this clip, then you'd know it was for a 89A. Alright. Again, more Micronauts. Empty box. That's a bolo. You guys gotta look for that stuff. 70s, 80s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, boxes to toys. Coin. Alright. Here's a set of rollerblades. I had them in the death pile. I brought them to the storage unit. I just slapped them out on the ground, took a couple pictures. 3 days later, sold. I paid $1 for those. The guy was at this yard sale and he was selling all of his stuff, and he wanted nothing to do with this yard sale. It was just like, take everything for $10. And I'm like 10 Nerf guns, rollerblades, and all this other stuff. I'm like, sure. You have records. I'm like, sure. Fill the car, $10. Sure. Hurry up. I gotta go. Here's a number 9 Shelton planer. It's not the greatest planer, not the greatest brand, but it did sell. 2 sets of lava lamps. This is like a 60s or 70s era lava lamp. I think this is called the Wizard, and it has the like stars that shine through the base of it while it brews up the lava. Very nice little lava lamp. It was missing the top, and the top does like $20. So if I had the top, I would have definitely got the 100 that I was actually asking for. I was asking 100 for it, and I took an offer at 65, and that was out of the hoarder house. That was out of the hoarder house. What a hoard. Okay, we got 59 milling bits. Good milling bits. Some great money on them milling bits. We have this micrometer stand. I had the milling bits and the micrometer stand are from the Machinist Hall 2018. I had 5 of these micro stands, so I think I paid 5 each on those. But within a lot, it was probably $2. And this right here is this Gold Star TV. Yeah, let me go grab it. Alright, let's go and see if the battery dies before I get through the rest of this. So here is the TV. It's a Gold Star TV, portable, takes batteries, has an AM/FM stereo in it. It's got brightness, contrast, antenna, perfect little travel road TV. So yeah, we sold that right there. We sold this fish, some kind of fish thing for a boat, fish finder. No clue. It's sold as parts, broken. And then we have this Starrett. No, it's a Tessa Master, which is pretty high end. Tessa Master makes high end stuff. Tessa Master micrometer. This has a lock, and yeah, nice lock. See, it's locked. Now I can spin it. Lock. There it is. And it's digital gauge, old school digital. So you see those numbers moving as it goes around. I don't know if you can see the clock spinning, but yeah, you measure basically. You measure the thickness of whatever, you know, mainly for the thickness of something very, very thin. And you want to know the thickness of this piece of steel. Put that in there. We got, where are we? I don't know. We got something. This one doesn't have a readout with numbers on the side, so I'm not really sure how to use this one. But there's a 0 and the line dictates the millimeters. Okay. Measuring tool. Again, that is a measuring tool. Technically not a ruler, but is technically a measuring tool. So that's it. We made it through. We made it through to the end. Cheat sheet. And yeah. Thanks. I really smashed them out. I had a motion, and we got through it. Now we're current, and now I feel better that we're a little current on where we're at, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Keep a lookout for all that kind of stuff. Come back. We'll do another video on more rulers and measuring tools and measuring things and numbers and stuff like that. Boring stuff. And I do have, I want to show you. There we go. I do have this. I do have this pile of different rulers and measuring. Like it's a pretty good two little piles right here. So I got some stuff that I can show you with different comparisons and different pictures, so you can get a good idea of what to look for on rulers. And then I have all these measuring tools here, just different kinds of measuring tools, different compasses, protractors, and all types of gauges and gags and stuff like that. Stuff that you might have a clue what is, and we'll do a video for that. All right. Thanks. Peace. Later.